Hello and welcome to Friday's Masterclass edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where this is the episode each week where I get to do what the channel was originally designed to do, which is to solve cryptic crosswords and try and explain how to do them. Yeah, we welcome a new month today as well, don't we? 1st of August. And we're going to be looking, well, we'll start off with the Times Cryptic, and then, providing that doesn't take too long, we'll have a look at the Times Quick Cryptic. Oh, and there's a new Club Monthly special as well. Now, if you do enjoy the Club Monthly special puzzles, which are brutally difficult, over on Patreon, Mark solves these, and he tries to do it without a dictionary. It's always quite entertaining to watch and instructive. So look out for those videos. They're over on Patreon at the moment. Today's puzzle, I'm hoping, is rather easier than last week's. Last week's by John Henderson, who goes online by the name of Enigmatist sometimes, was the second hardest puzzle since records began. Now, this puzzle has got a snitch rating which is certainly harder than average, but is not supposed to be that difficult. It's by Jason Crampton, who is a friend of mine and the current editor of the Times Crossword as well. So a man with one of the great jobs in the puzzling world. I mean, it must be in the top 5 jobs you can have as a puzzler. Anyway, let's have a quick look. Oh, so John McCabe, moan there. That's a real time, 3 minutes 50. I mean, that's sickening. That is absolutely sickening. I think the rest of these are typists up to... I'm not sure about Sam G. Davies, whether that's a typist. Jason is definitely not a typist. That's Jason James, who's a phenomenally good solver. 8 minutes. Matthew Marcus in there, Verlaine at 8 minutes as well. And there's Mark in at 9:44. Now, Mark will not be pleased with that, let me tell you. Any Times crossword that takes Mark nearly 10 minutes, he will be fuming. He'll be fuming that I've clicked on the leaderboard as well. Sorry, Mark. But that's quite exciting. So it means this puzzle certainly has got some teeth to it. And we'll start in a moment or two's time. I've got a few little birthday announcements to do today. So let me say a very happy birthday to Bob. Now, Bob, I'm a bit late with this one. Your son Chris wrote to us while I was on my holidays. I had a 2-week holiday, so I didn't do the announcement. I was intending to do the announcement because I was intending to do the crossword videos when I was on holiday. But then the antediluvian Wi-Fi speed in the farm cottage that we'd hired meant I couldn't do anything. So, Bob, you turned 80 on the 17th of July, and I'm sorry I missed it. Hopefully you'll still get the message. Your son Chris accounts or says that you are responsible for his love of cryptic crosswords. You used to get, was it Dell magazine back in the day? And Chris recounts a clue he still remembers from when he was young. And I like this clue, 6 letters. Disappear like a truck. Vanish, because if you're vanish, as in like a van. It's very good. It's very good. Anyway, Bob, many happy returns. I'm sorry I missed your birthday. Next, Joseph. Your birthday is coming up, so I have not missed it. I think we may have met, actually. We may have met in Oxford when Mark and I did a sort of live edition of this. But your partner Rowan wrote to us and said, could we wish you a happy birthday? Well, we certainly can. I hope you have a great one. Good luck with the job hunting. I hope it's going well. I firmly believe that watching Cracking the Cryptic and trying to solve the puzzles that we solve is only useful for things like that. And that'll get me started on other topics. But anyway, Joseph, have a great birthday. Many happy returns. And then finally, Megan. Megan, it was your birthday just a couple of days ago, so I'm only just late with this one. Your boyfriend Nathan wrote to us and said that you actually introduced him to both cryptic crosswords and to the channel. So, Megan, I view you as something of a pilgrim, one of these great people who goes out into the world and spreads the news about these fabulous, fabulous puzzles we get to do each day and each week. So, Megan, thank you for doing that, and I hope you had a great birthday. And that's all the news. Now, I can put it off no longer. Let's do battle with Jason. And it's the Times crossword. Oh, have I got my dictionary? I do have my dictionary. So I won't use the dictionary to cheat. I'm going to, unless we really go badly wrong, but I will use it to try and explain things as we go. So let's get cracking and see indeed how we go. And is it going to work? Yes. So 1 across, 9 letters. A French litter bearer, possibly, old but in good nick. Okay. Let's do a very quick refresher on what these clues are about. Each clue that we look at here is going to have within it a straightforward definition of the answer. That straightforward definition of the answer is very, very often either at the very start of the clue or the very end of the clue. And you may say, well, what's the rest of the clue then? The rest of the clue is a recipe that tells you how to connect little bits of words together to create the whole word. So it's wordplay. So if we look at this clue, I have no idea what the answer is yet, but the first job that we have is to identify which side of the clue is the definition, the straightforward bit. And the clue here actually is the very first couple of words, a French. If we see phrases like this in cryptic crosswords, what this is saying is what is the French for the word a? And that is un, isn't it? Or indeed un. But the crucial thing about that is it suggests that this is part of the recipe. So I'm thinking that the end of the clue is going to be the definition, where it could be in good nick. It could be in good nick, actually. Or it could be old but in good nick. Sort of I don't know. It does feel like the right sort of start as well. Untarnished or something is what I'm thinking. Litter bearer is a stretcher, isn't it? Possibly litter bearer. Palanquin. I don't know. I've got a strange word. Litter bearer could be a bin, I suppose. Unbin. Old could be aged, couldn't it? Unbanded. I quite like that. Undamaged. Undamaged. If you're in good condition or in good nick. Is a dam yes, yeah, oh, that's lovely. Jason is very clever. Wow. Okay, there are so many quite difficult things about this, but the way they all fit together is really rather beautiful. Right, so I've now understood the clue. A French is a litter bearer. We're not talking about sort of carrying stretchers across a battlefield or something. It's literally a creature that bears young. And a dam is, I think, can be various animals. The mother of various animals. In fact, let's have a look at what specifically is listed under dam. Not that meaning a mother, usually of cattle or horses. So something that bears litter, dam, and then old here is aged. And then the but is a little bit frivolous. The but is being used as a joining word between the recipe and the definition. Because the definition here, let's be very precise, the definition is not but in good nick. That doesn't mean anything. The definition is in good nick, undamaged. So that but it's a little bit frivolous. It's acting as a sort of, here's my recipe, and the apparent meaning of the recipe is slightly in contradiction to, so we can use the word but for in good nick. But that's how the clue works. We've understood it. 1 across is always a huge get, because look, 1, 2, 3, we get 5 starting letters from this, and we are going to use them. So 1 down, 5 letters beginning with U. America finishes off peacekeeping force in practice. Okay, so again, try and discipline yourself. Try and decide what you think the definition is, especially which side of the clue. Now, do I know? Well, my suspicion is it's in practice. Is the definition, or perhaps just the word practice. And that's basically because I don't know any 5-letter words for America. I know 5-3, Uncle Sam, but I know short synonyms for America. US is what is usage would seem to be the most likely one. So, oh yes, is usage. Okay, it's not US, it's USA. So what we've got here is America, USA, finishes off peacekeeping force. Now the crucial thing here is just to read it correctly, because those words seem to be very complicated words, don't they? But let's think about what they might mean if we're thinking about this as a recipe. Finishes off. What that's saying is take the literal finishing letters of the words peacekeeping, the finishing letter is a G, and force, E. G and E. And that gives usage. So in here is being used as a sort of equal sign. We've got America, USA, GE, that finishes off the peacekeeping and the word force, in, i.e. equaling a word that means practice, usage. So we have got off to a good start. Do we dare go for 4 down, or is that just frivolous? Let's go for 4 down. 9-6. Rush to hold up craftsman's glossy flyer. Okay, again, let's decide. What do we think the definition is? I'm going to say I think it's glossy flyer. So I think this is the name of a bird. That's glossy in some way. I'm trying. My brain is trying to think of it, and it's not doing a very good job. Naughty brain. And another reason, or what is the reason that I think that's true? Well, if we read the rest of the clue and try and read it as a recipe, rush to hold up. It seems to say we need a word that means rush, and it needs to hold up, so it needs to support. This is a down clue, so perhaps the word, I'm thinking of the word career, which is not going to be right, but because if something rushes something, it careers there. But if it was career, we could put 6-letter career in. That could hold up a word for a craftsman, a goldsmith or something, to give a glossy flyer. Actually, craftsman's has got an apostrophe S, so maybe it's an 8-letter craftsman and then an S at the end. I mean, it's going to be something like golden goose, but it's not golden goose. That's not long enough. And unfortunately, our good run of getting 2 in a row has come to an abrupt end. Let's try 9 across, beginning with A. 7 letters. Team left behind, close to tears in stadium. Now, did you hear how I read that? If you'd never done a cryptic crossword, you would read close to tears in exactly like that, wouldn't you? Because we know that as a colloquialism. If you're close to tears, you're sort of weepy, you're upset. But I read that immediately as close to tears, the closing letter of the word tears. Yeah, okay. So this is a dreadful team. Arsenal is the answer. Sorry, sorry, I'm a Liverpool fan, so you can understand. But how am I getting that? Left behind. What does that mean? Well, this is our first example. I do this every week, but we have to be familiar with abbreviations to solve a lot of these clues. They will involve abbreviations. Abbreviations have to be supported by the dictionary. And if we look at the letter L in the dictionary, we will have listed there the word left. Now, most abbreviations won't be a surprise to anybody. I mean, if we just scan down, university is probably going to be U. Conservative will probably be C. Millions will probably be M. Let's just have a quick look just to see if anything jumps out at me. Name can be N. Verse can be V. I don't know if any of these are surprising or not. Probably not. But just be prepared to, and think to yourself, if you're thinking, so look at the word coverage there, for example. Do you think that if we looked in the dictionary under C, we would see listed coverage? And if you don't think that, A, you'd be correct, and B, don't think of it as being abbreviatable to a C. It can't be, and it won't be. That will never be correct. So you can only abbreviate things that are supported by the dictionary. So where were we? We were looking at 9. Oh, well, everything's going wrong. Hang on, where's 9? Here we go. So left behind is saying behind something else, put an L. Close to tears is the letter S, the closing letter to the word tears. In a stadium, well, a stadium is an arena. And if we put S in an arena and then put the left behind that string, we can create Arsenal, the football team. So let's try 11 across 5 letters. Something occurring twice, revealed in letters from 1770s. Oh, it's a lovely clue. I don't know what the answer is yet. Something occurring twice, revealed in letters from 1770. What is this about? Something occurring twice. I'm sorry, I'm intrigued by this one. I don't want to give it up, even though I don't understand it. Letters from 17. I'm just wondering if you wrote out 1770s. I can see you've got EN at the end of 17. No, you haven't. I don't think you've got. I was wondering if it was a sort of cryptic hidden, but I don't think it is. Letters from 1770S. That's an intriguing clue. And if I take my own advice and say, what do I think the definition is? I think it's something occurring twice. But that's weird. That's really weird. I don't know. I'm going to try and get 2 down now. 9 letters. Outlaw does perhaps bother to case empty shop. Again, I mean, I'm butchering these beautiful surfaces by reading them as a solver. So rather than reading it as outlaw does perhaps bother to case empty shop, which sort of has meaning if we think about the sentence, never think about the sentence. It will almost always mislead you. See, I'll tell you what this is. Outlaw is the definition. Does perhaps is gorgeous. Because if I read the word does differently, does perhaps. We all know a doe, a deer, a female deer. The plural of deer is still deer. So does perhaps is going to be the word deer. And that's going to go around, I think. Does does perhaps bother? Outlaw. Empty shop must be empty out the word shop. So literally take out its middle, its H and its O. So it's probably it's desperado, isn't it? It's desperado for outlaw. Lovely. That is a beautiful clue. A do for bother. Right, so we've got does perhaps, deer, D-E-E-R, bother, and a do is a bother. Casing, surrounding, an empty shop, SP. That is a very, very clever clue. Love it. 3 down, 9 letters. What may be used to blow up a tiny figure? Don't think about the surface. Although here you might have to. Okay, there are exceptions to the rule I said at the start about the definition either being at the start or the end of the clue. There is one type of clue which is called an and lit clue, which will come up very rarely. If you're a new solver, don't worry about it. And basically that's a type of clue where the entire clue needs to be read as a definition, and the entire clue simultaneously acts as the recipe as well, the wordplay. It's a very hard clue to write, and they don't come up very often. However, a clue type that does come up, and it will always be signalled by a question mark at the end. A question mark can have other meanings, but one meaning of a question mark is as a cryptic definition. And that will require that we read the whole clue, so what may be used to blow up tiny figure. And we have to think about it cryptically. What may be used to blow up tiny figure? I want this to be something mathematical, like multiplication or something. I mean, it could be, if you blow up a tiny figure as you magnify it, it could be something like that. I don't know. Oh, this is kind of this checking letter we're not going to get as well. What may be used to blow up? If it's... Oh, is it I want this to be something like an exponent. You know, if you've got a tiny... Oh, I don't know. I'm just being daft, aren't I? Oh, and now we've got the golden goose. See, goldsmith again. Still would... Gold... Glossy flyer. Gold. Or could it be goldsmiths and an S here, and then a 5-letter word for a rush? Goldsmith sparrow or goldsmith. I don't know. I'm not sure. It probably isn't. Let's try 5 down. Beginning with D, 6, 9. Cleaner of traps. Oh, okay, let's stop there. Think about that cryptically. Cleaner of traps. It might suggest somebody cleaning rat traps or something, but traps, euphemistically, are mouths, aren't they? Cleaner of mouths. What about something like dentist or dental hygienist? That's immediately what I'm thinking of here. Dishearteningly reassembled. Well, dishearteningly seems to have a lot of the letters of hygienist in it. So I'm thinking this is dental hygienist. First of traps, not second. Okay, so I suspect we're reassembling the letters of dishearteningly with a T, first of traps, and not an S. S can be an abbreviation for second. V equals U plus a half AT squared, one of Newton's laws of motion. Oh, V equals U plus a half AT squared has no S in it. Okay, let's try a different one. S equals... Oh, hang on, now I can't remember my Newton's laws of motion, but S can be second. V equals U plus AT, that's one of them. S equals... No, did I say S equals UT plus a half AT squared? That has got S in it at the start, sorry. But S there is not seconds. What's S there? Is it distance? UT plus a half AT. Distance. S is distance there. Oh, I'm just going mad. But anyway. Oh. I'm going doubly mad. Does that 10 look like it's offset? Like that square is to the right of where it should be? Or that this black cell here is too wide? I don't know. Maybe I'm just imagining that. Or I've had some sort of aneurysm. I hope that's not true. Anyway, let's put dental hygienist in here. Hygienist. Is that how you spell hygienist? Probably. Yes, and let me just justify S to you. S. No. It will be. It's definitely here. It definitely. There we go. Second. There we go. So we take S out of dishearteningly, or take one S out. Oh, hang on. Actually, I should let me just check this, because I don't want to mislead you. Cleaner of traps in terms of the wordplay, because I do need an S for my anagram of dental hygienist. Reassembled. First of traps is T. Maybe it's saying not R. Yeah, okay. So how many letters are there in dishearteningly? We have got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Is it 15? Okay. And then it's saying another T, but not the second letter of the word traps, which is R. So does that give us enough T's? One, then we'd have 2 T's, and there's only 1 T in dishearteningly. So that's how it works. Okay, so all of my pontification about S there was utter nonsense. Forgive me. These are definitely live. 10 across. Let's have a look at that. 7 letters. University dons learnt about not taking sides. Okay. Again, practice. What do you think the definition is? If you think it's not taking sides, you're correct. How does it work? University, I said earlier, university is probably you. Very often it's you. It's a valid abbreviation. If you dons something, what does that mean? Jason's very clever, because university dons immediately makes you think about, the teachers at university, the lecturers. But if you don something in the sense of you wear it, this is saying you, the letter U, dons, it wears, it is surrounded by, learnt about, as in the letters of learnt get turned about. So anagram learnt, put a U in the middle, and you can then create neutral, which means not taking sides. So, actually, it's an interesting clue, this, because if I was solving this at speed, I would have been able to solve this very fast. But I wouldn't really have appreciated it in the way that I do as I read it slowly now. University dons learned about not taking sides. It's beautifully phrased. It really is. And anyway, we've solved it. That's a good thing. Let's try. Oh, should we go for 6 across? No, let's go for 6 down. That's sensible. I've got a U in it, 5 letters. Course note, published charges. Okay, I think I don't know this yet, but I think I'm going to get it in a minute. Let me just think about this. Hang on. Hang on. I don't know. I haven't got this, but course. Okay, I'll tell you how I'm thinking about it. I think this is a 5-letter word which means course. And that's because I can read the rest of the clue in a way that grammatically feels like a recipe. Note. Let's talk about note. Note is a very difficult word in a cryptic crossword sense because it has so many different connotations. Note could be something like NB, if you note something, nota bene. Or, and more often, it's a musical note. Now the musical notes could therefore be A, B, C, D, E, F or G. However, it could also be, and the song might help you here, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. All of those have spellings. Some of them have more than one spelling, and all are fair game in cryptic crosswords. So here, I think we're looking for some sort of musical note and published charges. What does that mean? Well, here we've got to be thinking about the word charge, not in a sense of a fee, but in the sense of charging a glass. If you charge a glass, what do? You fill it. So I think the way we're meant to read this grammatically is we need a 2-letter note, and then a 3-letter synonym for published is going to charge, it's going to fill that 2-letter note. And published, I'm thinking, is going to be run. If something has been run in a newspaper, it's been published, hasn't it? I know. Oh, is it out? If something's out, that might be why I haven't got it. It's root. I misled myself. okay, I was thinking about the tense of run and whether I really liked it there. But if something's published, it's definitely out, isn't it? And then I can use do, re, mi, re, to give route, and a route is a course. Lovely clue again, lovely clue. And it's one of those clues that I think if you've not seen charges before, or if you're new to cryptic crosswords, it must seem completely insane that can be almost, it's not a write-in because I didn't get out the out part of it, but it must seem insane that you can understand that how that is grammatically a recipe. It's just practice. I promise you, it's just practice. There is no genius required. It is only practice. And the only way to practice is to do the thing, isn't it? So let's have a look at 5 across. Beginning with R. 6 across, sorry, 5 letters. What boozer, on reflection, has to accept? What boozer, on reflection, has to accept? I'm going to get this one. Hang on. I haven't got it again. What boozer, on reflection, has to accept? I don't know. I want it to be something like repot or something. Like I was thinking of words for boozers, people who drink too much, and toper came to mind, T-O-P-E-R. I mean, a boozer could be bar or pub. I don't know what this is. I don't quite know how to read it. There's that question mark at the end, which might mean that it's a cryptic definition. But it doesn't feel like that, this one. It feels like there is some wordplay going on. I just can't figure out quite how to read it. Let's see if we can get 7 down, 5 letters. Mounted soldiers establish or secure borders. Yeah, okay. So, normally we get to say this every week. There is almost always one of these in every cryptic crossword. And in the Times, if there is one, there will be only one. That is a rule, I believe, that the Times crossword gives its setters. And that is a hidden. You can have one of these, and this is, what do I mean by hidden? I mean that the answer to this clue is spelt out in the clue. Now, having said that, the constructor, Jason in this instance, has to tell you that they've hidden the answer in the clue. They can't just hide it in the clue and not tell you. Cryptic crosswords must tell you exactly how to get the answer. And if we look at this, if we split the clue after mounted soldiers, establish or secure borders. Now, the word borders here is saying that the string of letters establish or secure, borders, surrounds the answer. And if you look inside that string of letters, establish or secure, you will see spelt out H-O-R-S-E, horse. And if you're in the army, you might just refer to your mounted soldiers as the horse. You know, well, you would. Well, one would. You might. So that's what's going on. Borders is the hint that we have to look inside the string there. You might see that expressed in less clever ways in other puzzles. It might simply be the word in. So imagine we rewrote this clue. Mounted soldiers in, establish or secure. I mean, it would be nonsensical. It wouldn't mean anything, but it would be doing the same job. It would be saying inside those letters, find the answer that we need to write in. My phone is going, but that doesn't matter. Right, let's go back to this. Is this rehab then? What boozer, on reflection, has to accept? Let's just put rehab in. Yeah, okay. Okay. this. So I said we wouldn't see, or we probably wouldn't see any and-lit clues. We've seen an and-lit clue. This is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So what is an and-lit clue? It is it's the holy grail for cryptic crossword setters. I think most setters would say it's the thing they're most proud of if they manage to create a good and-lit. Because if you think about it, it's an incredibly hard thing to do. What is an and-lit? It's a clue where the entire clue operates as the definition of the answer to be entered. And at the same time, the entire clue is the recipe to construct the pieces of the answer. So let's see if this clue meets that criteria. What boozer on reflection has to accept? Well, a boozer, may on reflection have to accept they need to go to rehab. So that's it works as a definition. How does the wordplay work? What? If you said what, as in sort of you didn't hear someone, if you said what, that's the same as EH. It's an exclamation that sort of means I didn't quite hear what you meant, or I didn't understand it. EH. So what here is EH. Boozer on reflection is bar. A bar is a boozer. It's a type of pub. So bar on reflection is reversed and accepts the synonym for what. So EH goes inside a reversal of bar to give rehab. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Not easy, but it's brilliant. Right, 8 down. 9 letters. Corporations shipping had finally departed behind schedule. Okay, I don't know what this is yet, but I'm going to tell you, if you ever see the word corporation in a cryptic crossword clue, it often refers to your tummy or your belly, I'm thinking here. It must just be an old meaning of the word. Let's actually have a look. Corporation. Corporation. A belly. There we go. Especially a pot belly. So, again, it's just one of those words that, with experience, you come to know that might be what's going on here. So, corporations shipping had finally departed behind. I think this is going to mean behind schedule, belatedly or something. It probably is belatedly. Let's see if this works. So, corporation, belly, shipping. If something ships something, it has it on board it, doesn't it? So, had finally. Oh, ate. If you ate. Gosh, yeah, this is clever. Right, so we've got belly, shipping, so having on board. Had, if you had some food, you ate the food, ATE. Finally departed is the final letter of the word departed, D, behind schedule. Belatedly being the definition. Now, okay, here's an interesting point. No jokes about me at parties, thank you. I think the word finally here is required in the Times crossword, but would not be required in the listener crossword. And that is because the way that Jason has signalled this D is as the final letter of the word departed. But I think departed, if we look under D in the dictionary, I think departed can be abbreviated to D. Now I'm going to prove that I'm talking absolute nonsense. Maybe I've got confused. Oh, maybe I may well have got departs and deserted. Oh. I know, I'm just misleading you. I don't. Sorry. Okay. So I for some reason I thought departed was a valid could be abbreviated to D. I must be just confusing it in my head. It's a while since I've done the listener crossword, but so ignore me. But even if departed could have been D, it wouldn't have been allowed. There are in the simple times crossword. I say simple. I mean in the normal times crossword, because some of these are considered just beyond the pale. Let me see if I can find another one. I mean, electric flux, for example. If you saw electric flux, you wouldn't be expected to know that could be D, even though it clearly can be. Diamonds, you would see that. I don't think you'd see dinar, really, or dimension in the normal times crossword. Let's try a different letter, just in case there's a good example. Fighter plane. I mean, there's one. Filial generation. You would never see that in the Times crossword. I mean, you might not see it in the listener either, but it would be fair game in the listener. Anyway, we got that one belatedly. Now, let's try this. What's this going to be? Amazement, maybe? 12 across, 9 letters. Government satisfied with introduction of new account. Yes, okay, it's not amazement. What do you think the definition is? Do you think it's government, or do you think it's account, or do you think it's new account? It's the way you can be confident about it is if you understand the middle of this clue. Satisfied with introduction of new. Now, Mark's big tip, people often, will ask Mark, sort of, what's your big tip for solving cryptic crosswords? And his would be different to mine. But his tip is that you should build up a bank of short synonyms for every word you can think of. So can you think, in this clue, can you think of a short synonym for the word satisfied? Now, if you can think of the word met, then you're halfway to solving the clue. Because satisfied met with introduction of new, well, if you can guess or you know that N can be abbreviated, an abbreviation for new, then you can see that satisfied with introduction of new can give meant, which is very likely to be the end of this word. And once you know that, well, then you must be looking for a 5-letter word that means government, followed by meant, to give a 9-letter word which means account. And if I say your bank account, what would you get that in? You would get it in a statement, wouldn't you? And the government and the state are synonymous. So statement is what we're after there. Now let's go. Oh, Goldsmith still fits. That's so annoying. Oh, it's so annoying. If this doesn't begin with I? Oh, it probably does. Popular. If something's popular, it's in. Okay, so what is this then? 14 across, 9 letters. Popular man had to keep one part suppressed. Man had to keep one part suppressed. Suppressed. Inhibited is the answer to that. That's not easy either. So let me explain how this works. Suppressed is inhibited. Popular, in. Man had. That is heed. H-E apostrophe D. Man had. H-E, and imagine there's an apostrophe between the E and the D. Heed would be a way of saying man had, wouldn't it? And that keeps one, that's this I here, Roman numeral for the number 1. A part of something is a bit of it. That gives inhibited. So, what is this then? It must be Goldsmith. Goldsmith. Glossy flyer. I don't know. I mean, actually, that's not very likely to be an H, is it? Let's just have a look at... Oh, no, it is. Groundhog would fit for rodent. let's have a look at 17 across, 9 letters. Rodent chewed up house and border in garden. Yeah, gosh, that's lovely again. It doesn't work the way I thought it was going to be an anagram. It's not. So groundhog is in Groundhog Day. I mean, there's no excuse for not knowing that. It's one of the greatest movies in the history of Hollywood. Was it Punxsutawney Phil? Anyway, groundhog is the rodent. If something is chewed up, it's ground up. House can be H-O. Well, let's have a look at that, because that's a weird one. And a border in garden is saying take a border of the word garden. So if we view the word garden as if it had borders, they would be its edges. And so take one of the borders, which is that first letter, the G, and that gives us groundhog. Now, for that to be true, we need HO to be an abbreviation for house, and it is. I don't know where. Oh, well, no, it is. There we go. I don't know where that comes from, but it just is. It's true. So groundhog. This is going to be goldsmith, I think, which must be the craftsman. Glossy flyer, goldsmith. Rush. I'm going to have to get. I think it might be gold. That apostrophe S is interesting me. I think it's going to be goldsmiths, and then a 5-letter word for a rush, or to rush. And it's going to be the name of a bird. Can we think of any 6-letter words for a bird? Well, I mean, if I take the S out, then I can think of quite a lot. I don't know. This is intriguing me. Let's go for 13 across, 5 letters. Conservative receives millions for great opening. Yes. Okay. Again, what do you think the definition is? If you think it's great opening, well done. Well done. That's correct. The way this works is conservative, I mentioned this before, can be abbreviated to C. If it receives, has, millions, M, chasm is a great opening. Now what is that then? Minute Man? A tiny figure. What may be used to blow up? Is a Minute Man some sort of bomb? Because I'm thinking tiny figure. I could read that as minute man. That would be a tiny figure. And if a Minute Man was a type of bomb, I don't know that, but I've heard of Minute Man as a phrase. That would then be explain it, wouldn't it? And tiny figure. It isn't an and lit, this one. What may be used? And it's not a cryptic definition, because tiny figure is giving us the wordplay. Now, if that was Minute Man, what is 11 across then? Something occurring twice. Apicionados. Revealed in letters from 1770s. Oh, no, I see what this is. I was on the right lines before. I think it's event. Wow, I really like this. It's very clever. It's very clever. Very, very sort of... I might have given it a question mark, but it doesn't strictly need one. So I think what Jason is saying is that if we do write out the words 1770s together and look inside them, we would twice see event. And something occurring is an event. And it's been twice revealed in the letters that you would write if you wrote down 1770s. Isn't that clever? That's a very good puzzle, this. And we've done the top of it. So we've got no excuses here. Let's try 13 down, 9 letters. Knowledge and awareness, essentially, about noticing changes. Knowledge, cognizance or something, and awareness, essentially. Cognition? I quite like cognition. I feel like it is cognition, because that feels like it's an anagram of most of noticing. Yeah, okay, I see it. So knowledge and awareness, I think, is the definition, and I think that is cognition. Essentially about, I think, might be saying, take the essence of the word about. What is the essence of something? It's the heart of it, isn't it? So essentially about, I think, is saying take the mid-letter of the middle of the word about. That is O. Combine that with the word noticing, and then change that string of letters, and I think you've got the correct anagram fodder for cognition. There are 2 O's in cognition, so it feels like it's right, doesn't it? Now we need to get these checking letters for my goldsmith bird, so let's have a look at 19 across. 9 letters. Act as mediator, intercede or something, keen on, abandoning final decree, out of hand. I mean, I want this to mean act as mediator, so I'm just going to put intercede in, and let's just see if we can justify it. Keen on. Keen on, if you're into something, INTO, you're keen on it, aren't you? So I'm wondering if keen on, abandoning final, is just giving me INT, so it's saying take the final piece out of the word into. And then decree, out of hand, is saying anagram the word decree, and that gives you intercede. And we get an E in this. Let's not look at this one until we can actually get more letters for it. Let's try 24 now, 7 letters. Writers still, showing sign of depression. Writers still, showing sign of depression. I haven't got this. Hang on. Okay, I don't know what that is. Let's try 26, 5 letters. Career set back by firm, failing to complete tender. Okay, I mean, I have an idea what this... Yes, I have got this one. Okay, so again, try and make up your mind. What do you think the definition is? And one clue for how to do that might be, if you think about how a recipe might be written, things about, adding tablespoons to things and mixing them, or anything that's an instruction about the position of something is likely to be wordplay, isn't it? It's likely to be part of the recipe. So career set back. I think very straightforwardly that's saying think of a word for career and set it backwards, reverse it. And if you career somewhere, you hurry there, you run there. So, reverse the word run. By firm, if something is firm, it is set. Failing to complete, so we miss off the T at the end, and we get the word nurse. And tender, as in somebody who tends to you, somebody who looks after you, is exactly that. It's a nurse. So we can do that one. Now let's see if we can get some help with 24 across. So 20 down, 5 letters. I'm grateful for every source that enlightens. Yes. Okay. Again, make your decision. It's actually not that easy here to split the clue in the correct place. If you think that the clue is split after the word every, that's extremely well played. That is correct. I'm grateful for every, I think, is the definition. Sorry, is the wordplay. I'm grateful. If you said I'm grateful for something, you would say thank you, wouldn't you? A shortened form of thank you, tar. For every, per, as in per capita, for every person. So for every is per, and that gives taper. And a taper is a source that enlightens, as in something that provides light. A taper is something used to light, isn't it? And sort of you move it around to sort of show where you were going. Right, let's try 21 down. 5 letters again. Jack's hearing about gripping lives. Jack's hearing about gripping. Jack's. Hang on. Okay, I'm thinking this is raise, but that might be wrong. And the reason I'm thinking of the word raise is I was thinking of jack, not as in a man's name, but if you jack up a tyre, you raise it, don't you? So that's what I'm thinking. Hearing about raise. Gripping. I think it is, yeah, okay, I think it is raise. This is very, very difficult. I'm going to go for raise. Here is my justification, and you might not like this. Actually, I'm not sure I like it. I'm not sure, hang on. Hearing... Oh, no, I understand it. No, I do like it now. I do like it. I've now understood it, which I hadn't before. Your hearing is your ear for something. If you've got a good ear for music, you'd hear the music well, wouldn't you? So hearing and ear, I think, are synonymous. And hearing about is saying reverse the word that you've thought of for hearing. So reverse ear. And that grips a word for lives. And if something lives, it exists. It is is. So we get a reversal of ear, put is in the middle, that creates raise, which means jack. I mean, that's very difficult, but it's probably right. Now, 24 across, let's go back to this then. Writers still showing sign of depression. Imprint? Yeah, an imprint. I think, okay, let's look at this writers. Writer apostrophe S. What's that getting at? That's Jason referring to himself, the writer of the crossword. So in the first person, I'm is synonymous with writers. I mean, this is a convention that comes up sometimes, the constructor referring to themselves. And a still is a print, as in a photograph, I think. And then imprint is a sign of a depression. So Goldsmith. Stop it. Let's do 27. Let's do 20. Let's actually try and get all the letters we can. 9 letters. Outgoing SMS by Madman has first letter appearing last. I mean, it must be extrovert. I don't know, because that's a word that means outgoing. SMS by Madman. I don't know why it's an extrovert is a sort of madman. I always think of extroverts as madmen, mainly because I am the opposite of an extrovert. I am the most introvert of introverted things. Why is this an extrovert? Outgoing. SMS. Oh, an SMS is a text. Okay. By madman. Is a rover a madman? Maybe. Somebody who... I would have thought more raver would be a madman, but maybe rover can be a madman. Has first letter appearing last. So text rover, if that can be SMS and madman, has its first letter, the first letter of text going to the end, that would give us extrovert, which is outgoing. So what on earth is this? Rush beetle? Goldsmith beetle. I think if you beetle somewhere, you sort of rush there. I was thinking it was a bird. A goldsmith beetle. I have never heard of a goldsmith beetle in my life. Glossy flyer. I guess it might be. Some beetles are quite shiny, aren't they? Goldsmith beetle. This is one of these answers that I find so annoying, because if you are learned enough to have ever heard of a goldsmith beetle, this clue was a total write-in. You could do it in a second. But if you've never heard of a goldsmith beetle, you basically have to get all the checking letters and then really think hard about whether you're going to commit to goldsmith beetle. So the differential there is enormous. So in terms of speed solving, this is a nightmare clue unless you know it. Anyway, I think I'm going to go with goldsmith beetle. Should we look it up? Let's look it up. Let's look it up, because otherwise I'll forget. Goldsmith beetle. It is there, so it's almost certainly right. Goldsmith beetle. I can't now see it though. Goldsmith beetle. A beetle with wing covers of a gold colour. I mean, okay. Okay, fair enough. Let's look at this one. What's this? Bastinado, I know, is a word. 15 down. Oh, there is a word like bandolero or something. I can't remember. Performer's short song encapsulating Ireland in verse. Bandolino is a word as well. Oh. A performer's short song. I don't know. I feel like this might be the name of a performer. And then we've got to think of a short song that's going to encapsulate Ireland. It might be I think India though is the international. India I think is I. It might be IR for Ireland, or other words for Ireland that sometimes come up are Erin. ERIN I think is an old word for Ireland. And then in verse, what does that mean? Maybe actually this is a 9-letter word for a verse. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to get this, but only if I can get enough checking letters. So let's try 18 across. 5 letters. Vehicle's choice of routes at T-junction close to motorway. Well, close to motorway is the same as we saw in that earlier clue. It's going to be the closing letter of the word motorway. So that's going to be this Y, which tells us that the other side of the clue is going to be the definition. So probably just the word vehicle. So I'm thinking, is this lorry left or right or something? Choice of routes at T-junction. Left, yeah, left or right. Yeah, so left, L, or R, right. A lorry, which is certainly a vehicle. Ballad. No, I don't know. Let's keep going. Turnstile, I'll go for 16 down. Name, belonging to partner regularly, seen in finish, we're told. Now, I don't know what this is, but I want to talk about the end of this clue. We're told. We're told. If we see things like this, and it might be phrased differently, it might be we hear, or one caught, or by the sounds of it, it might say it's making reference to a homophone, something that you hear. So you can hear two words that might be spelt very differently. Think about words like sight and sight. Sight, S-I-G-H-T, and sight, S-I-T-E. They sound exactly the same to our ear. but they have different spellings and different meanings, and cryptic crosswords constructors love to play on this fact. So if we're told is doing that job in this clue, what's the definition? It's going to be the other side of the clue, isn't it? So name or name belonging to partner. Name belonging to partner. I don't know. Regularly seen. Regularly seen, I think, might mean take regular letters from the word seen. So either take the odd occurring letters, letters 1 and 3, or the even letters, letters 2 and 4. Belonging to partner. I don't know. I haven't got this one. It's a bit embarrassing. Let's move swiftly on. Let's have a look at 7. It's not 7 across, 25 across, which is 7 letters. Copy 7 letters. Might be imitate. India and China harnessing computing resources. Yes. This is imitate. Why? India? We just mentioned this in the context of Ireland. I think India, if we look up I in the dictionary, it will have India. So if your car is from India, I think it will have an I on it. And then China, my old China, it refers to your friend, your mate. So I think China is going to be mate there. And that's harnessing, so it's including within it computing resources, IT. So it's going to be I, mate, around IT to give it imitate. Now let's keep going. We'll go for 23 down first. 5 letters. Put up resistance after introduction of extremely shocking treatment. Well, what's it when you shock somebody? Is it ECT or something? Is it EST, electroshock therapy or something? Put up resistance after introduction of extremely shocking treatment. Or is it, if you put something up, you erect it? How does that work? Resist. Okay, I'm going to go for erect, being synonymous with put up. If you put up a house, you erect the house. Resistance can be R from Ohm's law, V equals IR. After introduction of extremely, oh, that's my watch battery now buzzing at me. Introduction of extremely, I think, is saying take the introductory letter, the initial letter of the word extremely, that's E. So we get ER, and then if ECT can be is it electroconvulsive therapy or something? I'm not sure, but I can well believe ECT is some sort of electrical unpleasantness. Let's have a look. Electroconvulsive therapy. Let's click on it. Electroconvulsive therapy relating to treatment using electric shocks. Yeah, so erect is going to be correct. Of course, we then get the checking letter of an E, which is the most unhelpful in 22 across. 5 letters. Cut off coverage for viewer hosted by network provider. Cut off coverage for viewer hosted by network provider. Oh, what are you up to there? Jason, what are you up to there? Cut off coverage for viewer. Coverage for viewer is horrible, because that's making me think of like a cover for your eye. A viewer is literally your eye. That's what views things. So is a coverage for your viewer Is there some short word for a membrane that covers your eye? Or could it be like an eyelid or something? Or elide? Ooh, that is a big solve. That is. Elision, I think, is the action of cutting things off. So I think elide could be right. So coverage for viewer could be your lid. Hosted by network provider EE. That's some sort of network. There's something to do with telephones, isn't it? EE. Elide, I think, is going to be right there. And unfortunately, then, what it terminate would fit there. Name belonging to partner. Regularly seen in Finnish, we're told. I think this is terminate. This is really difficult. Okay. I think the way we have to read this might be the following. This might not be right, but I think this is quite unusual. I think the definition here is a homophone for Finnish, as in from Finland. But obviously that sounds the same as F-I-N-I-S-H, Finnish. So I think we're looking for a word here that means finish, i.e. terminate. How does the wordplay work? Good question. A name, I think, is a term. Belonging to, I think that's in. I'm not sure about that. But if belonging to could be in, then partner regularly seen, if you look at the regularly occurring letters, not in the word seen, which is what I originally thought, but in the word partner, if we look at the even letters, you can see that they are A, T, and E. I presume that's this A, this T, and this E. So the only part of that I'm slightly worried about, name belonging to. Maybe it's sort of punning on it. If a name belonging to ATE would be the term in ATE. In. I mean, I think this must be right. I'd certainly go with it. I'm just going to look up in the dictionary and see if it says belonging to. Oh, it does. Okay, so it's that simple. There we go, belonging to. So terminate is certainly not only correct, which I did think it was correct, but it's absolutely justified. And all we've got left now is this weird looking word, which I said I thought I was going to get. Now I'm looking at it with the checking letters and I can't think of any word I know that fits. So performers short song, ballad must be no, ballads B-A-L-L-A-D. Encapsulating Ireland, would that be an IR here? In verse. I mean, oh, Erin. Maybe it is that. So if that was true, I think this might be the name of a verse then. But if that's correct, then performer's short song is going to be B blank L blank O blank. Because, well, I'm saying that because I presume that we're shortening the song. Performer's song shortened. Oh, unless it is extravert. Can you? Oh, then it could be ballerina. That would make more sense with. I thought extrovert was the spelling, but can it be extravert? See, a madman and a raver is much more. And okay, I think this is ballerina now. I think I don't know whether I've got my spellings wrong in my head or whether there is an alternative spelling of extrovert and extrovert. But this makes extrovert much clearer because raver for madman is better. Now I can understand this clue. The way I'm understanding it is Erin is a word for Ireland, but it's a poetical word. So Ireland in verse, I think, is saying Erin. Then we've got short song, which is a short ballad, B-A-L-L-A-D, and the whole thing is a performer, and that is a ballerina. So I would definitely submit this, and I'd be confident about it. I'm just a bit nonplussed about my ignorance about the spelling there of extravert. But this is what I would submit. If it's wrong, I'm going to be upset with myself. No, it's correct. Okay. So let's go. What have I really? See, extrovert. Outgoing. So. Oh, see, look at that. That's mean. That is mean. It's there. But it's very much, so I sort of feel a bit redeemed by thinking that the spelling was extrovert. It's certainly the most, it's the one that actually has all the definitional stuff under it in the dictionary. There's just an extra spelling, which is extravert. Wow. It's a brilliant puzzle. It's a brilliant puzzle with quite a nasty little trap at the end. Oh, and let's check elide as well, because that's maybe a word that doesn't come up every day. Elision, the suppression of a vowel, to cut off. Brilliant. Jason, you are a brilliant man. I am less than brilliant, but I have stumbled through your puzzle. And I hope that was of some use to those of you who are newer to cryptic crosswords than I am. Now, in an extra attempt to redeem myself, I will try and race at the quick cryptic, which I do enjoy, so forgive me for this, but let's see if we can do this justice. Let's see who it's by as well. By Asp. One can't fly after Heathrow checks is hidden. Rear. Constituency with small majority in the board. No clue what that's talking about. Tie required in Oxford shoelace, I would think. It's like a cryptic one. Singer and old lady right at home. Singer, Marley, it's something, Martin, I suppose. Maybe that's actually the name of a Dean Martin or something. Bully, about to run after man, Hector. Ripe romp could be seen as this. That's an anagram and I can't see what it is. That's the constituency, which I don't know. Belonging, beginnings of days always were dawn. That's just fairly straightforward. Play acting up to age 9 starts to create empathy. Pretense, pretend, CE, that's not easy. Wrong-headed way to read poetry. Perverse, perhaps? Spot check, stem. I'm not sure about that. Let's try remove broadcast about all time to come. Truth is really breached by... Oh, verity is the answer there. Tune millions yodel badly is a melody. Flower I planted in lines close to rockery. Lily, I presume. Landmass is Asia. Fighting almost tore apart densely populated area. I don't know. Oh, spot check was not STEM then. Spot check. Don't know. 60% of algorithms altered text praising God. Gloria? Probably is Gloria, isn't it? Military intelligence officer. Milton, I would think. I chortle about Taylor. Clothier, maybe? Head of faculty must be Dean. Evermore. There's a bit of almost a Poe reference there. What's this? Oh, corporal. So what's this? Spot check. Mark? Probably Mark, I would think. Okay, so we've just got the northeast to do. Oh, this is, what is the improper? It would seem to be the anagram fodder. Constituency with small majority marginal. 4 down. Charted. Road going north. Drew. Transfix reader originally entertained by article. Pierce, perhaps? English boy, Dale. Fighting almost tall Warren. Oh, I'm not actually, I mean, that was not, if it's right, it's not the most terrible solve ever. I didn't think that was easy at all. Yeah, see, it's not, you know, I'm giving a little bit of explanation. I've come 8th there. Not terrible. I mean, within 30 seconds of Mark with talking is not awful, and I've only just been beaten by Matthew Marcus there, so I'm certainly not that unhappy with that. I mean, still John McCabe's over a minute quicker, which is absurd on a puzzle. That was not that easy, was it? I don't know. I've probably embarrassed myself again. Anyway, thank you very much. If you're still watching, thank you so much. Do let us know. Do drop a comment in and tell us how you're getting on with your solving. The YouTube algorithm does not like these videos for some reason. I don't know why. You know, and it's a bit distressing for us as creators, because we enjoy making the videos, and we think that they seem to, from some of the feedback we get, really matter to people, and yet the algorithm says no, we're you know, we think you shouldn't be doing these videos. So anything you can do to help us, if you can like, subscribe. I know it's a cliche, and you know, all YouTubers say it, but really, please, it would be kind of you. And yeah, that's all really. That's all. We'll be back later with another edition, of course, of Cracking the Cryptic. Bye for now.